how are you going to work with the effortlessness? It's very easy to get lost, very easy to get like lost in the bliss. So there's an element then of focus that needs to come in, an element, of course, of the awareness when you're doing the exercises. And there's going to be some tension, but it's this purposeful tension. This is effortless tension. If you put too much tension or effort into it, then that can suffocate the energy. So the energy gets stuck. So if you're creating like lots of tension in your life, it becomes obvious, doesn't it, to yourself? You become more tired or more irritable, or you feel like, well, the energy is just not flowing the same way anymore. So how do you find that part where it's not collapse and everything's just gone and you feel like, oh, I don't want to do anything, and not so relaxed that you've gone into what I came across a term in a book. It was this healing book. This guy has been doing work on body work and healing work for Rosenberg, his name, not Marshall Rosenberg, it's another Rosenberg. And he'd been doing body work for maybe about 50 years or so. And he referred to it in terms of therapy when people went really, really deep and into this gone away state. And they get up and say, oh, I feel amazing. I feel so blissed. I don't want to do anything. But the problem was it went on for days, and they would go back to work or to relationship and they just didn't want to do anything at all. He said they'd got into some kind of like dorsal flexion. Yeah. And the dorsal flexion takes them into this completely gone away state. And it's a type of withdrawal state that one could go into if they were attacked. You're going to mobilize or you're going to withdraw. And so, of course, in the Qigong, we don't want to withdraw. We want to relax. We want to relax enough so that we can release the tension, so we can restore function. We just remember those sort of 3 R's of our practice. Yes, you've got to relax enough so that you can release, and then you can restore the function or the equilibrium of the systems of the body. It becomes really easy then. So when you're practicing your Qigong, it's like, am I relaxed enough? Yeah. Am I letting go? Am I releasing? Am I ungripping? Or am I becoming more intense in terms of the practice? Am I concentrating so hard to get this thing right that actually I'm creating unnecessary tension? Yeah. And it's easy to do that, isn't it, if we want to try and get things perfect. So my teacher would talk about perfect form. Yeah, get the form perfect. But then he would add that, yes, you get the form perfect so that the qi can flow well, but not so that you worry. Yeah, perfect form, but not worry. Oh, okay. So this can be quite difficult. How do you bridge that? How do you bridge the getting it right, yeah, getting the form right, but not worrying, not tensing too much? So that comes through the practice of following the form and paying attention to the form. But once you've got the form perfect, you no longer have to get it perfect. In fact, actually, perfect form doesn't really matter. What matters is the qi flow. That's the most important aspect of it, the qi flow. But let's say you were doing a shooting arrows exercise, yeah? And when you see shooting arrows on the internet, you might see it like this, yeah? You might see it like this. You might see it like this, which tends to be the way we do it. You might see the hand like this, like we do. You might see it like this, or you might see it like this. It's like, which is perfect form there? They're all right, aren't they? They're all right according to how it was passed down to that particular lineage or person. So it doesn't make one wrong, one right. So then if you had your hand out like this, you might still be in perfect form. But, oh, no, I've got to get my thumb back in. Yeah, got to. And my finger's not straight because because the knuckles is swelled or bent, and it's like you try and force your finger back in. You start to create this worrying tension, or that the elbow's in the wrong position. Now, this is where the form, getting it right, or perfect form, as my seeker would say, means more. Because if you have your arm, your forearm, yeah, and it's like the fingers pointing this way and your thumb's tucking in, yeah, And so you've got your finger here. Now, if you raise your elbow up, yeah, like this, as if the finger's now pointing downwards, yeah, so you raise the elbow up, where do you feel building tension when you hold it like this? Where do you feel building tension? In here, yes, in the shoulder, that's it. So now, and touch this area here as well, so just feel your muscles. And now drop your elbow down and just feel what happens. This relaxes, doesn't it? Okay, so now pull the elbow back, yeah, behind you, as if you're drawing a bow quite hard. Now feel what it feels across your pectoral muscles, tight, yes? Now release, loose, yeah, more relaxed, yeah? So if you pull back too tight, your scapula is going to come nearer your spine. It's going to create unnecessary tension. Yeah. Okay, now move your elbow across the other way like this. Where do you feel tension building now? In chest, in the pecs, and in the yeah, and the outside of your shoulder. Yeah, maybe into your ribs. Yeah, or maybe into your bicep. A lot of tension. So shake that off a second, because it's amazing in a day how much our habitual patterns and movements create unnecessary tension. And that's going to build up over time. So your form, the way that you hold your body, the way that you hold your form, the way that you do things, the way that you carry a bag, the way that you open a door, yeah, all of these things, yeah, have the opportunity to work with sort of optimal function, the absence of unnecessary tension, getting it just right. So the perfect form leads us to a greater awareness of where we're holding tensions. Yeah, because these forms have been designed in a way for optimal function and energy flow. So go back to this one again and see if you can find the most relaxed space. And this is part of the form of the shoe narrow. So the most relaxed space that you can on here. Yeah, good. And then just see what it feels like if you're leaning back a little bit, whether you're standing or sitting, and then where you feel the tensions build up now. Of course, the muscles, if you're leaning back, are lengthened at the front of the body and shortened at the back. So you get more tension in your lower back and more strain at the front of your body. And now coming forwards a little bit, the muscles on the back are lengthening. Yeah. And then these are shortening, which gives you less space then within the organs. Yeah. So again, the exercise is designed in a way to create this spaciousness in the body. Yeah, spaciousness in the chest, opening the heart and lung meridians. Good. So you just find that optimal place for you where there's the absence of unnecessary tension, as if you had to hold that for a little while. Now, the other thing that you may notice where you could add unnecessary tension is here in your wrist. Yeah, here in your wrist. If you bend the wrist outwards, yeah, notice how much tension that creates in the upper arm and the shoulder, as well as your forearm. Yeah, it's quite a lot, isn't it? Yeah. And then release, and this is releases further up the arm as well. So your wrist position creates tension elsewhere in your arm and your shoulder. Yeah. And then if you do it the other way around, so bending the wrist towards you, yeah, where do you feel the tension now? Yeah, it's quite a lot, isn't it? It's quite a lot. Yeah. And because we're paying attention and awareness here, so just shake that off again. Yeah, maybe we switch round because it's we go both sides. Yes, in this exercise, let's come to the other side again. This is like a masterclass of the shooting arrows. Yes, we may just spend the whole lesson getting this part of the form right. We'll see how the time goes, but it's worth it because you will bring into your awareness today now, every time that you do something physical, you're going to be checking in with yourself. Is this unnecessary tension? So play with that position of the arm, getting that into the optimal place. Yeah. And it's normally parallel with the floor is the optimal place. Yeah. Making sure that your breath is relaxed. We haven't really spoken about that yet, but making sure the breath's relaxed, that changes everything. And then here in the wrist, getting that to a place where you're not adding that unnecessary tension. Okay, and then the thumb, yeah, it's just softly down. If you put it down quite hard like trying to press down a lid or something, you know, a button, you can add quite a lot of unnecessary tension here, yes? So just bring it up a little bit. You see now all of the hand opens up, fingers here, and when you're gripping here, it's just a very gentle grip. If you grip hard, like white knuckle in your hand, you can add quite a lot of tension into your hand, can't you, by really gripping hard as if you're holding onto a string. And sometimes people say it's like holding onto a string of a bow. But that is, if you've ever held a string of a strong bow, yes, it adds a lot of tension. You have to be strong in your body to hold that. We're not holding a bow. We're not holding a string. So it means you can relax. Yeah. So see if you can get these fingers relaxed as well as the thumb, yeah, as well as the finger. Good. And then get into that place then where you've on the alignment and just pulled back enough with your elbow that opens up the chest. Yeah, good. But doesn't go too far where you feel that stretch into your back. Make sure your spine is upright. And now turning your head. Now, again, when you turn your head, just feel for yourself drop your hand for a second. When you turn your head to one side, where is your natural range of movement? Because depending on how much tension you've got in your spine at the moment, you might be able to turn your head to here before you're stretching your muscles. It might be to here. It might be to here, to the side of the body. But if here creates a lot of tension and stress in your neck, yeah, and the muscles coming down the neck or the back, then one, it's good that you become aware of it so that you can release those tensions, work on releasing those tensions. But two, don't strain to get perfect form. Now, perfect form would be, yeah, looking sideways over the shoulder. And it's like, oh, Tim said get perfect form because that's what his teacher said. But now I'm straining my neck and my face is straining. Okay, so find out where your natural range of movement is in the rotation. And you know where your natural range of movement is because if you go any further, your muscles will start going, ah. Yeah, they don't actually make that sound, but they go, ah. They start stretching. Yeah, so just turn to one side and then compare that turn of the head to the other side. Does one side feel freer than the other two, or is it equal both sides? Yeah. Turn one side. And you're keeping your spine upright when you do this as well. You know, in the 8-piece of brocade, the 18 low hand hands, we have the rotating head exercise to open up the spine and open up the muscles in the neck and the chest and the back as well. Of course, when you turn your head, just become aware of the amount of muscles, if you move slowly, amount of muscles that actually are involved in you turning your head. Yeah, face, neck, chest, shoulders, upper back. There's a lot, isn't there? Yeah. And that's just the muscles. Now, if there's any cranial nerve dysfunction, so there's like tensions or blockages within the cranial nerves, you're going to feel this as you turn your head as well. The good news is when you turn in your head, this helps to reset the cranial nerves, yes, as does turning your eyes. So the one finger Shuden Zen or the Shuden arrows encourage us to turn the eyes to follow the finger that comes out. Yeah. And by doing this, you're getting a reset of the cranial nerves and the muscles. So this exercise, the Shuden arrows and turn the head, is marvelous for your overall health. Healthy spine, healthy life. Yes. Okay, so does one side turn easier than the other? Does one side turn easier than the other? Or they're both about the same. Yeah, so you can bring into your awareness how your spine is one side to the other. Yes, that's good. All right. So now when you come to the other hand, which we're going to extend out, I'll sit back a little bit further so you can see. So the other hand, still in that hand form, which is the same as this, but it's now just upright, yes, goes across the body. Again, find that sort of perfect form at the moment where the shoulder's not rising up. Yeah, if you rise the elbow up, lift the elbow up, you feel the tension here, yes, in the neck. So if during the day you're doing a whole bunch of stuff on the phone or other stuff which involves this movement, yeah, you're going to be creating quite a lot of tension in the traps, yeah, the trapezius muscles and shoulders in the arms. Okay, so this encourages us to almost like a dance form. Yes, you hold it yourself a nice dance form here, and then you can go into the shoot and arrows. Good. So that one's going to come across, but we'll just drop that one down for a moment. Now check your wrist position, yeah, good. Elbow position, and get yourself into upright spine position, and everything's nice and relaxed around your shoulders. And you now look at the end of your finger. Yeah. So turn your eye to the end of your finger, and you're going to follow your finger now as your arm extends out. You're going to follow the finger as the arm extends out. Now the arm's going to extend out, and the palm's going to be facing now sort of forwards on the length of the arm. And of course, the wrist is now bent. So this is going to create some purposeful tension in your arm. How much you bend your wrist back, yeah, that's what you just want to find out. What is your range of movement here? If I really pull my wrist back to try and get like a 90 degrees, it's too tense. Yeah, I'm creating unnecessary tension. It's too much. It's too strong. Yeah, so I want to back off a little bit. But if I release altogether, energy flows out. Yeah, this is energy flows out the end of the fingertip. If you bring the palm up a little bit, you feel some tension in your arm. But what this will do is it's like a river bank where the gate comes down and then the water just builds up here waiting. The energy is going to build up waiting. Yeah. And then when you release the hand, release the fingers, release the hand. Energy can then flow down your arms, the meridians down your arms, yeah, optimizing your energy flow, which optimizes the circulation energy flow around your body. If you pull this one back, yeah, the energy is building in this one, but not as strong as this one, yeah. And then release. Good. So now you've got perfect form, optimal tension, yes. You're not tensing too much. And smile, face relaxes. Good. Smile from your heart. Good. Excellent. So let's come to the breathing. Breathe down into the belly, into the abdominal area, if you can. Yeah. So just gently breathe into the abdominal area. Belly rises on the in-breath. Breathing out, belly relaxes and falls. Gentle abdominal breathing. Breathe in. Breathing out. Good. Breathing in. And abdominal breathing can be done with the eyes open or closed. So again, we've got that optimal tension place, the absence of unnecessary tension, where we're not going into a gone away state. We're coming into a present relaxed state because we're bringing ourselves to the center. And then you can use that just before you go into your Qigong exercise. Now, the breath on the Qigong exercise that we're going to do is a sh sound, teeth gently together. And then, now on the sh breath, use about 70% of your breath on the sh and leave some for the ha. Otherwise, you'll be sh all the way out and then got no breath. Yeah, so we don't want that as the breath. It's a breath in, gentle breath in to the dantian. Good, nice long gentle breath in, then shh. Okay, do that again. Breathing in to the dantian. Good, so it's a ha, gentle ha sound. So this is going to regulate the emotional systems. So a great way of bringing focus to the mind. Yeah, releases and opens the channels. And you feel much more sort of settled in just with that breath. So even without the movements, you can just do the breath as a way of this physical, mental, emotional regulation. So of course, that's not the way we would normally breathe. Now, the coordination of the movement is you're taking a breath into the belly. The temptation, because the arms are here, is to breathe into the chest. Yes, it's tempting to do that, but you breathe into the belly, and then you make the 70%, then release both hands. Good. And there's that natural pause. You can take a breath in and a breath out here, and then we're going to go another time to this side. So breathing in to the belly. Optimal form. Just check your form as you breathe. Yeah, don't hold your breath as you check your form. So make sure your face is relaxed. And then take a breath in to the belly. Of course, this exercise is normally done in horse riding stance, but right now we're sitting down on a chair, and you're still going to get a whole load of benefit from doing seated Qigong. Yeah. It might irritate people if you're on a plane and you're doing your shooting arrows. But it's a great exercise. That's right. Oi, give me my room. Bus, train, it works in all these places. Yeah. Just nudge somebody along. Okay, so let's come again. Optimal form. And here you feel when you've got your arms up that there's a space in the middle of the upper back between the shoulder blades. Yeah, there's a nice space opened up between the shoulder blades. This opens up the spiritual center at the back. When we extend the arms out, opens up the spiritual center at the front. What's a wonderful exercise on many levels. So take a breath into the belly. Then good, that's it. And we're just turning our head to follow the index finger as we move. Yeah, not thinking about anything else. All your focus 100% on the fingertip and your breath. Yeah, and the movement. Okay, let's go 3 times the other side. Doesn't matter which way around your hands are, by the way. Pause. Breathe in. Breathe in. Relax your hands on your lap or at the sides of your body, wherever is comfortable. Have your eyes gently closed, mouth gently open, body upright, and just sit in the stillness. Rather than going into a chi flow, we sit in the stillness, sitting Zen. If you're standing doing the exercise, standing Zen. Natural breathing, not trying to manipulate the breath in any way, but just allowing the breath to be naturally long and deep, if that's what it's like for you. Allowing it to come down to the belly, to the abdominal area. Or just noticing where your breath goes. The more you practice the abdominal breathing, the more that becomes your default breath, your natural breathing state. And as a natural breathing state, that's going to help you with the regulation of the systems, the emotions, nervous system. Good. And gently think of your center, rub your palms together. Have the eyes massage around the face and the head. Good. So you're probably not going to do this all day long, because otherwise you might not get much else done. But when you're doing something physical today, maybe, once or twice, 3 times during the day, just turn your attention to whether or not you've got that absence of unnecessary tension. Yeah. Or is the form being used in a way that's adding unnecessary tension? Are you relaxed in your face and your body? Is your breath relaxed in doing whatever task it is? Now, it might be that you're on the telephone and you go, oh, you change the telephone position, or the person on the other end of the phone is irritating, or you're getting stressed out by them. So you can check in with your breath. Now, I don't suggest doing this down the phone at them, but you can check in with your abdominal breathing, yeah, your body position, your arm-hand position. All of this, each time you do this more habitually, adds value to your everyday wellness. Yeah. So this is how you bring these things into your everyday. Not that you go around doing shooting arrows at people. It's more that you bring in, what's shooting arrow showing me about myself? What is shooting arrow showing me about my posture, my breath, my relaxation, my tension? What does it show me? Yeah. And it shows a lot. Yeah. It shows a lot. So we go from the perfect form to relaxing ourselves, to relaxing the mind, to relaxing the breath, to come into our center, to letting go. But as long as you're relaxing and you're releasing, yeah, you're restoring that function.